We'll start out with my name, which is Rick.
Hello, Rick.
Um,
My dad's name's Rick.
Okay,
Actually,
My flatmate's
here's
name's
us.
Rick.
That's Rachel.
Hi Rachel.
Same as
that's Rachel.
This is my
That's
friend
Rachel.
Ian.
Hi Ian.
I'm Jesse.
Hi Jesse.
I'm
Hey,
Nick.
weren't you on the train? We saw you on the train that night, New York.
New
Or
York
New Jersey.
train.
Yes.
We didn't excuse me.
That's Ian down on the floor.
Hello.
And I'm Nick, and this is Christian. And so
Let's
Okay. Whoever wants to go first, they got the questions. I have a microphone.
Well, this one's for Rachel specifically.
let's talk about your reviews.
Okay. You sang backup on Pearl with Chapter House. I was wondering your relationship with Chapter House.
goes way beyond.
It's too sordid to discuss.
Oh. No, they're just like old friends. Just sort of knew them before I started the band. Well, I used to live in Reading, around the Reading area. And they just asked me to do it as a favour. So I did it, and that's it really. It's not a lot to it. It was just like a favour. I paid my train fare, which was 10 quid. That's all I got out of it.
Be a little more specific about that.
Yeah.
Well, you got international fame and recognition out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Alright, here's a common question for you. What would you say your biggest influences would be?
Nick?
I'm your biggest influence. Thanks. What kind of influence? What musical influence?
Musically.
Well, all kinds of things really. Goes back, doesn't it? Goes back to when we were
Nippers.
knee-high to grasshoppers. And I guess at the time it was like all kind of stuff. Sort of Mary Chain, Cure, the Smiths, all that kind of mid-80s kind of stuff, because that's when we sort of started getting interested in bands and playing in bands and things like that. So I mean that's what kind of, I suppose, made us want to do stuff. But since then, I mean, like when we first started the band, it was stuff like the Mary Chain and My Bloody Valentine, I suppose. But it's kind of moved on a bit since then, I suppose, hasn't it? Really. I mean, what are our influences sort of nowadays? Rach,
Sorry, our influence.
are you playing with the
I'm
knobs?
just trying to undo the window.
Sure, attention span?
No. What are our influences now?
Can.
They're great.
Can you open this window? I don't know actually. The thing is that everyone's got their own musical tastes, and they very rarely cross paths actually. I think The Cure is probably still a common influence.
More in attitude than in sound,
It's not really about sort of other bands anymore, is it? They're not on my
though.
sound.
I mean, whenever you start a band, you always have like pretty obvious influences, I think. And ours are well documented. But as you carry on playing, you kind of
Sort of adapt your own.
yeah, that's right. And you don't lose interest in other bands, but you kind of, it's not so much like, wow, they're really amazing, because as you kind of carry on playing in a band, I guess you realise sort of, how things are done and how, like things that you thought were really brilliant, you kind of think, oh, well, that was done like that, and it kind of loses some of its mystique somewhat. So, but those were our original sort of influences when we first started, which I guess is kind of sort of an obvious answer to give, really, but...
What would you say your favorite band today would be?
What, that are alive?
Yeah. That's around right now.
Verve maybe for me. Verbal Cranes.
I like Cranes and New Order and Blur. I like Blur a lot. You like Blur, don't you?
No.
Who else do we like? Neil's into sort of he's into Techni and Ambo. They're a great band from the Lower East Side. No, he likes like the Aphex Twin and stuff like that. You know, he's into that kind of sort of ambient sort of side of things. Seafield, people like that who are sort of around in London at the moment. But I mean, yeah, I mean a lot. You know, I think most of us like the same things that we always have done, really. You know, we've kind of sort of grown up with certain things, and you know, we still like the same kind of thing. So.
You've all heard of the band Nirvana, right? What do you think of them? And yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What do you feel about that?
It's very sad, I think, really. I don't know, I mean, I'm not like a massive Nirvana fan or anything, but I think anyone killing himself is severely fucked in the head. Sorry for his wife and his baby. Been left behind. Pretty sure. I just wonder whether she'll end up doing something stupid as well. Actually,
Making another record.
Yeah. I don't know. Nobody really know. I mean, we've only heard like, you know, kind of today, sort of rumours and things. We don't really know.
Is it actually true?
It is. It's been confirmed now, hasn't it?
What does it been on the news and that?
Yeah, I think so.
What'd they say?
I mean, all we can kind of gather
He
is
said
that,
he
you know,
left a note too, but they would show it or something.
Sorry?
It's been missing for like a week,
Right.
so it's like an electrician found him or something, so they'll never find him.
Terrible.
it's horrible. It's pretty shocking, really. Just so sort of-
Well, it is. I mean,
do
we
you?
only just heard sort of rumours about it today, and we haven't had a chance to kind of hear, you know, sort of more exactly what happened. But you know, it just seems that, you know, he was a heroin addict, wasn't he? And like, you know, maybe, you know, I don't know much about like heroin and stuff, but what I understand is that, you know, if you do try and come off it, you know, you're really the lowest point that anybody could possibly feel, and if that's maybe what was going on with him. Plus, I mean, I think he was kind of an unstable sort of character at the best of times, wasn't he? Like, I mean, it was that sort of overdose like a month or so ago, 2 months ago. And he's never been like a real kind of sort of sane person. So I mean, I don't know. It's really sad. So I mean, whether you like Nirvana or not, it's just fucking, you know, yeah, that this sort of business, if you like, can do that to people. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is, really. I just don't think he could handle it. No, I don't mean that in a horrible way. But just, you know. What can I say?
Intense pressures.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was probably like a sort of quite a fragile sort of guy anyway, and like, you know, the pressures of like having to maintain, you know, Nirvana that suddenly went from being like a, you know, just like another grunge band out of Seattle to being like these fucking megastars that are selling millions of albums worldwide and having to contend with like a major heroin problem as well, probably didn't help.
Plus, he didn't want to be famous, did he?
Well, that's what he said. I don't know whether I ever believe
him
that.
if he's fucking shot himself.
Yeah, right. Well, he's going to be famous now, isn't he?
It made it onto the BBC.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it would have
He'll
done.
fucking would have done, totally. He'll be on the news.
So, I mean, Nirvana are now guaranteed to be a legend, aren't they?
Oh, he'll be like Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Sid Vicious.
Terrible.
The band Eternal. Who was involved with that? Which
Oh,
Slowdive?
Eternal, Christian.
Hey.
I want to speak to Christian.
Yes.
What's your
How
question?
many albums are out?
Sorry?
Eternal, the band Eternal.
Yeah.
That's the band you played in previous.
Briefly, yeah.
I had somebody ask me if there was another album out. I forget the album that they mentioned other than,
There isn't an album, is there?
or is there like a single? Because they mentioned
Yeah,
something.
this little single that come out.
And is that it?
Yeah. It wasn't even a proper band, it was just sort of just a little thing, really.
Now I can tell this person. Sorry.
Great, just some questions.
Well, it's my last one. Crap. I might as well look at it.
It's not much light in here, is there?
Alright, who has the most creative input, or is creative input equally shared throughout the band?
Well, Neil writes the songs.
Well, I knew that much. But there's other things that are involved.
Well, I mean, the way it normally works is that Neil kind of, he has the original idea for most of the songs. And he'll normally record sort of a demo kind of thing, which he'll then play to us, and we'll say, oh, that's good, or that's bad, or that's shit, or whatever. And then we kind of, we sort of sort stuff out between us. I mean, it's like, Neil does write the song, so Neil has the creative input, but we tend to kind of, work around what he's done, and sometimes the songs change massively because of it, and sometimes, they stick pretty much to what he originally said, so, it's not like he writes the songs and then that's how they are,
Everyone has their own...
Yeah, anyone who wants to kind of, sort of muck in does.
Those who don't.
Yeah, kind of thing, really. It's, well, I guess it's probably how most bands work, really. But, there have been stuff that we've done that have been just band efforts, it's not just totally restricted to just Neil. Some of the stuff we've recorded has been like a whole band type of thing. So.
That's into my cheap questions.
Hey! We should have brought some Rolling Rock in here, shouldn't we? Oh, well, never mind, too late now.
Wait till there's these questions on the
Oh god, yeah, I was quite drunk actually.
Do you guys have like any stories to tell?
Interesting tour stories.
Yeah, let's hear a new one.
I told them about the Croatian dancers, so maybe you can tell that.
Tell them about the New York hotel room, Nick.
Oh yeah!
So the Croatian dancers then. What about the Croatian? That wasn't very interesting.
No, really.
Well, nothing very interesting's ever happened to us.
The first time we went to New York, and we were in this hotel, we all had to sign these register things for our room.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Very interesting. And Christian got his thing back with his bill on it.
This isn't interesting at all, Rachel, because if what you're saying is we got caught in a riot in Toronto. That's not very interesting either. But we didn't know it was a riot. No, we were walking down the street and all the windows were smashed and there was no one about. And we were just thinking, well, hey, this must be Toronto. This is what Toronto's like. But it was, remember the LA riots? And then there were copycat riots in major cities across North America directly afterwards. And this was when we were there. And it was only sort of afterwards that we realised that, it was basically we'd missed the riot by about 30 seconds.
We went into that.
Yeah.
Went to see Swerve Driver and Soundgarden and ran into the venue.
Yeah, got very scared. But I mean, nothing's really ever... I mean, we've always missed stuff just. We missed the LA riots by literally 2 days. We came out 2 days after that. And there was a major earthquake we just missed at one point as well. Famine, poverty, war, we just miss it. Everywhere we go. Yeah, that's right. We're always, we're always just behind. But no, I can't think. Ask another one and I'll think about this one.
Do you think it's worse to have your head in the clouds or to be in a rut?
It's a new one. Go ahead.
To be in a rut.
My head doesn't reach the clouds.
If you're stuck in a rut, it's not. But if your head are in the clouds.
Your head are in the clouds. You've got more than one head.
The clouds. Yeah.
What do you mean head in the clouds?
I don't know.
Daydreaming.
Yeah.
It was we got that question from this personality test. It's you.
Oh, that's why we couldn't answer it, because we ain't got a personality.
Cats and dogs and why?
Cats.
Cats.
Dogs. Sorry?
Why?
Don't know, I just like dogs.
I like the
cats. Cats are bastards.
I like the word dog, but I don't like the animals dogs. I've always hated dogs, but I've always liked cats.
I'm allergic to cats.
I'm frightened of dogs. So, you know.
Dogs depend on you for everything and cats don't.
The thing I like about cats is they don't give a fuck, you know. They just go and do their own thing. They couldn't give a fuck who feeds
It's all
them.
covered love.
Yeah, that's right. They're just kind of like sort of independent sort of spirits.
Their
really,
owners
aren't
are fucking completely sad, whereas dog owners, it's the dogs that are completely sad. Whereas cat owners are all kind of,
I know, 2 doors.
they? I've got a cat.
and it's like that. You know what I mean? And the cat's going, fuck you. Whereas the dog is like that.
Dogs are just pathetic. What do you prefer?
Cat.
I was going to say you look like a cat person. What about you guys?
Cat
I
person.
like cats. I don't discriminate.
He's got a big fat dog, big smelly old dog. He's a dog person.
That's nothing. Dogs really stink.
Cats fucking stink.
Oh no, cats
Jesus.
No,
cats are
right.
much cleaner than
Jesus
dogs.
fucking
If you
Christ.
stroke a dog, right, smell your hand afterwards and it's disgusting.
Fucking if you walk into
Dog
someone's
puts a
house
smell
with a
on you.
cat,
I mean, if you stroke a cat,
if you walk into somewhere who's got cats, it fucking stinks.
It depends on the cat. It depends on how it's been trained.
I'm showing out.
I got
If
a
you're
cat.
packing the sort of tackle,
I got a cat called Shabba, and it's a bastard.
you're alright.
But no, it's alright. It's one of yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rachel's cat had kittens recently, and I had one of them. Well, I didn't have it. I took it off her. Nah. What do you think? Well, no, shut up. Did you reckon we'd be cat people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, dogs wind me up. They always have done. They're so
I like big
fucking
dogs.
stupid.
Like Max at the nursery was like.
Well, even that dog winds me up because it nicks the
Stinks.
football.
Yeah, but it's a nice dog though.
Oh yeah, but you don't want it nicking the football. And you know the thing I can't stand? Are those fucking little
Chihuahuas
fuckers.
and Yorkshire Terriers. and
Like
things
rats.
Like that. Yeah.
Rats that yap. It's like you just want to go. Touched a nerve here.
Have you had any interesting
Well, actually, I always have interesting dreams, but I can, but then I can never remember them. I kind of wake up, you know, in the middle of the
Raging
night,
panic.
and yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Can I have my bag?
Which
Up
one?
there. It's the
Brown one.
It's the
It's in the dressing room, isn't it?
No, that's Neil's. He's the same.
Oh, this
bag here. With beige, sort of white.
No. She means the brown one, yeah, the brown
I
leather
think
sort of.
that's tan one. No,
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Interesting dreams.
We haven't had a lot of time to dream
We haven't had a
recently
lot of time to
we've
sleep,
yeah, that's
actually.
right, because we've sort of been
4 hours
you
a
know,
night.
but you know, you just kind of wake up and you think, oh yeah, that was interesting. But then you always think, oh, I have to remember that. But then when you actually wake up in the morning, you can't fucking remember it.
I remember
Yeah?
that.
I used to do that.
It's just for entertainment.
Yeah.
So I read them later. I don't remember I dreamt them, but
Right. Because I
Yeah,
have this dream where I you know, we all have, especially before tours, we all have like, you know,
Tour dreams.
tour dreams, like where you turn up at a gig or whatever, and my one is that you turn up and none of your stuff's set up, and like you get there really late and everyone else in the band is already on the stage and like they're just ready to play, but you know they're waiting for you, and you rush on stage and like your trousers are all unbuttoned, and like none of your gear's set up, and your guitar's not tuned, and you've got no talent. And then I wake up and realise that it wasn't a
true.
dream at all.
that's one of those common dreams of like being naked in public.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I have them
I have
sometimes.
those.
Those naked in
What
public
does that mean?
dreams.
He's got a big fat dream book that has
What does that mean? If you dream that you're like running around Starkers.
or just totally unprepared.
Insecure about your body.
It's what?
Does it insecurity? Yeah, that's what I heard.
Insecurity.
Yeah, maybe I've got a problem with insecurity. To add to all my other problems.
Okay. What images does the word locustasm
Oh God,
conjure
I'm
up
not
for
answering
you?
this
Beg your
one this
pardon?
time.
Locustasm.
Locustasm.
What do you think when you hear that?
Locustasm.
I answered this the other night, so I'm not answering it again.
Well, what does it mean?
Doesn't mean anything. See, we were trying to name our fancy, and a friend of ours said locustasm. He didn't want to clarify because we thought it was kind of
Locustasm. Well, it sounds like a very sexy insect. I think. I don't know.
Locusts aren't sexy though, are they?
Well, no, but this one would be.
What do you think?
Sounds like a train.
A train?
Yeah, from Czechoslovakia.
This locust would be sexy though. It'd have really nice lingerie in that.
Why would it be female?
Well, what did she said, but in like individually, maybe in your mind it wouldn't be, but obviously I wouldn't find a man in lingerie sexy. Well, what's wrong with being sexy?
What do you think of
Christian, you answer this.
What?
The new wave of new wave.
I love it.
We're too young to remember the old wave of new wave. So,
The new wave of new wave is shit.
well, I've never heard any of the
Do you
records.
Smash on top of the pop?
No.
Crap. It's like our weekly top 40 rundown on the telly
I mean, it's just a joke though, isn't it? I mean, it's all a joke.
2 weeks ago, and it was utterly appalling.
Like, you just not, you know, as soon as the, you know, the papers and that get bored with one thing, you know, they're on to another thing, and like, at the moment it's this, and in 6 months' time it'll be something else, and, you know, most of the bands that they go on about are a fucking pile of shit. And that'll never change, and, you know, we're a fine example of that. And at the moment they're just going on about this new wave of new wave. I don't even know what the fuck it means, really. I mean, what does it mean?
I don't know,
Like, it's
really.
all sort of punky power pop kind of, sort of the Clash and the Buzzcocks and all that kind of thing. And, you know, the Buzzcocks were brilliant, and like, I don't know, you know, I've never really listened to the Clash or whatever, but I guess, you know, they're probably good as well and stuff. Everyone sort of seems to say they are, so I mean, why the fuck don't you just listen to them? You know, instead of like a load of twats coming along and...
Why they do this thing?
Oh yeah, I don't know, it's just all... It's like the Manic Street Preachers, you know, a load of shit. Utterly pointless.
Do you like Elastica at all? They're kind of
Yeah, I know. I mean, I heard a couple of I heard the 2 singles. I don't know anything else by them apart from the 2 singles. And like the first one I liked because I thought it sounded like Blondie, and I like Blondie. And the second one I thought was quite funny because it had that belch running all the way through it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't have a tune, and it was fucking boring after you heard it once. So I don't know, I'm sure some of the bands are probably really good. I mean, like Blur are being lumped in with all this new wave of new wave of new wave of new wave or whatever it is at the moment. I mean, Blur are a really good band, and like with any scene that they talk about, if the bands are any good, then, you know, it doesn't matter about the local label tagged onto it. You know, they'll last, and, you know, they'll make good records and write decent tunes, and they'll, you know, people will like them. But, you know, I bet most of these bands that sort of people are writing about at the moment, you know, no one will know them in 6 months' time. But, you know, I'm no expert. I don't really know much about it because I don't really read the papers anymore, so you probably know more about it than we do.
Yeah. You know Sheila, who writes Plume?
Sheila
I
Burgle,
liked her
yeah.
too. And she taped me those songs.
Right.
I'm wondering, when was that from? How long ago was that?
That was the demo which had Slowdive and Avalon on it.
Oh, really?
So that's like a 4-track demo that we've done.
Around the
1990.
same time as that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and those 2 were the 2 that Creation didn't want to put out. Those were like...
Yeah, they recorded at the beginning of
Valentine's.
1990, weren't they? The same session.
February.
And was it February?
It was February.
Yeah. And
8-track demo.
and Slowdive and Avalon were the same session, and they came out that year in October or whenever it was?
November.
Was it?
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Yeah.